To this your boy Don, keep it going, Charles. I thought I'd drop another video. I gotta charge my phone, but it probably be real quick. Um, you know, I was coming across some videos as I was making the last video. You know, it's aging in the sport of MMA. You know, aging in the sport of combat. Uh, bro, it had me in the chokehold, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I just man, and me being almost 30 years old. This is my last year in my 20s, 2026. Um, this shit's had me in a chokehold, bro. Like, you watch a lot of your favorite fighters, damn near like superheroes, kind of, other than, Marvel characters and DC Universe and stuff like that. You know, you know, um, me being in the sport, I always thought that I'd be in the UFC by now, probably. Um, and that at the time that was like the most sought after place that you wanted to be as a fighter. Even if you were coming up through the ranks as an amateur or a low professional to the highest paid position in fighting in the UFC. I might post some pictures up on the last minute, but I don't know yet. But in the video, you'll see, even with the Tony Ferguson picture, from 2017, 2016 to like 2020, 2021, this shit really ages you, bro. And not only that, it's like watching these fighters feel like kind of grew up with these fighters and stuff. Um, that's what it felt like. I just grew up. I was raised around these fighters and stuff like that. There's a lot of fighters that's passed away. Who have passed. There's a lot of fighters just getting older, retiring. You know, and look at Ben Askren. He just had staph infection in his lungs. Thank God, and he had a graceful recovery. But this is what it comes with. Um, it's just the age of fighting. The battle of the time of man. Even when it comes to family, I thought about it like, damn, this is what it's gonna come down to. Like, even though I try to deny it mentally, uh, but that's actually kind of healthy in a way, because you gotta face reality sometimes. Uh, like, thinking like, I'm gonna be an uncle, mom's gonna be a grandmother, my sister's gonna be a mom. Man, they had me in the chokehold at the same time too with that, different scenarios. Aging in the sport of combat and then aging as a guy, a family man, about to be an uncle and stuff like that. And I've been trying to connect all our family members together. But what it is? It is what it is. We're just in a time of era where we're kind of just individual. It's gonna take some time for us to come back together while we're out on our own. Family wise. It's just like, damn, this is it. Like I said in my last video, I told you guys I cried at the last reunion. It was really nobody there, bro. Just everybody getting older, passing away in the streets or chasing careers, just doing different things. You know, like damn, after because my dad had passed away, and it's like after my mom and da da da. I guess I hate to get that far, saying God forbid, but I have to sometimes. It's just by nature, like who do you really got? This is what it comes down to, what you leave behind. Yeah, you got memories, but memories fade. Sometimes I forget half the shit I done when I was a kid. I miss, you know, just doing, just going to the park, just simple things. Definitely not worrying about bills, of course. But this is, like I said, I'll be 30, and my last year in my 20s, and I appreciate and I loved every bit of it. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. These things I wish I can just change, but you gotta keep going forward, no matter where you're at, or what sport you're in, what career you're in, what you do at all times. You know, It hit home, it just popped up out of nowhere. As a family man, an uncle now, a son, and brother-in-law, brother, all those things. It's like, damn, I'm getting old, what I'm saying? And shout out to the next generation of fighters that's gonna be in the sport as it changes, evolves into something bigger and better. That's gonna be amazing. I sound old as hell, bro, but like I said, I'm only 29, bro. But I've been, like I said, I watched Conor McGregor grow, I watched Bobby Green grow, even just a lot of fighters from 2012 and all that stuff, and even beyond that, bro, even beyond that. Um, it just had me thinking about a lot of shit like that. Eventually, it's gonna come around to me. As far as family wise, family events and timing stuff that's already ahead. But even just training, and like I said, you can't train with the sport forever because it's always gonna train without you. There's a wolf, a white wolf over here. It smells my little heavily earth guns weed. Anyway, but yeah, it's, as you can age with the sport. You can always train. The next fighter's coming up behind you or whatever. But to keep up with it and try to compete at a high capacity at an elite level, you might have to go back down a few more weight classes or a few more easier fights. Especially if you got a chance to control it a little bit, and your fan base and your business, your brand, your production, your promotion, how you promoting yourself and advertising your stuff. Just everything. Oh, bro, it's just shit, bro. It all gets old eventually. As you get older. Not it don't all get older. It's just eventually when you get older, it just seems like it just you know this is crazy timing right now. I know this is probably like not the best video. What it is best video, but just this is how I feel about it. Like I said, you age with the sport, and the sport ages without you, and in the family, you age with the family, and eventually your family ages without you. That's why you make the best of it. Enjoy while it lasts, and train and be with people that you really want to be around during certain moments in time. Make money. Just all that positive shit, bro. That's what I really, bro. But don't throw it off for some stupid shit that also I tell a lot of young people before me. Or not young people, before, after me. Yeah. Not young people after me. Meaning like this is their turn coming up with this shit. I'm just letting y'all know, bro. This shit. Enjoy your 20s, bro. That's really what it is. Train if you want to train. Try new things out. You don't have to always do the typical tradition, go to college. Cause as you can see from 2015, a lot of people and a lot of kids my age at the time enrolled, but as years went on, you just kept hearing about college dropouts, colleges shutting down, and all type of shit, bro. Just like where I just came from, out there from WAU town, whatever. That college out there is not doing so good, but their transportation is. But that's like because they rely on the students that go out there. But, bro, it's crucial. You know, I would think that place being part of Illinois and the train runs through there a lot. That's probably what would keep it always going is the train, many train stop there. There's a lot of business and money in that. People have places to go, so that's never gonna change either. Um, uh, Depending on the destination, though. But no, like I said, it just hit me like, damn, bro. Like after my family go, and I hate to say it like that, I'm just being realistic here. I don't want to make this a sad video. I don't want to feel no type of way. Disclaimer: it's just me dealing with reality. Once I start working, get everything together, I'm gonna be happy that I achieved what I was supposed to do. Cakewalk, but it's just You know, after everything's said and done, you spend half your life trying to find yourself, figure things out, have fun, party sometimes. And as you get a little older, it's the same thing, but it slows down. But you're now not just focused on yourself, centering yourself to an extent, but you're focused on your well-being, your environment, and your family around you. You know, and while all having the conscience in your early 20s that yes, people do pass away, family do pass away. You know, it hits, but it don't hit. Until you start adding up the math, and one's closest to you, one's on the other side of the family. Just yeah, bro. You that's all. That's just disclaimer. I don't want nobody feeling any type of way. Anytime you hear about bullshit, bro. I'm just saying, realistically speaking, as a man, like, I wish I could just be, oh yeah, everything's like hunky dory, everything's fine, rich. Even if I was rich, though, I'd still be trying to help my moms out, my sister out, shit like that, and help the family out a little bit. But they're not always gonna be there as you grown through all this journeyman like type shit. Uh, that's why when I try to spend as much time as I can with my sister and my family now. But even when you just so focused on this job and trying to get everything together, it's kind of hard being put in the mood to even, I lived my life when I was 18, 19, 20. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm still alive, thankfully. But unfortunately, the ones that I love are the ones I left, and I used to know are passed on and gone via family, friends, or foes. I did do train a lot too, so shit. I just damn, bro. But this is gonna be a comeback. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Hell, Conor McGregor's trying to come back in 2027. I think that'll be a little too late. Only because he's gonna still have time to heal from his injuries the correct way. What he could have done 5 years would have changed the situation, the narrative now, versus him having to take a year off, possibly in another year, in another year. You know, as he ages, when it comes down to it, after it all, just damn, everything will be all right though. There's still a lot, still a lot out here more to learn. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think. Shit. Got two separate events, future events, major and just trying to prepare for the future, I guess, bro. Not taking anything serious is it's not that serious. At this point, family, money. You know what I'm saying? Money most important. People should be listening constantly struggling, but depending depending on how you feel about the perception, I guess. Uh, yeah, bro. I don't know, just aging with the sport, aging, and just me speaking on realizing like, damn, I'm getting old in this shit because like I said, I just seen the video and it just kind of like hit me like, damn. It was a Tony Bergman photo, but it was from him from like 2017 or 16. I can't remember, 2022 or 2021. And you can see the difference in his physical change and shit. And it's like, shit, right. And I just been training on the side. I ain't even actually fought any UFC like on TV wise, but I had my first amateur fight. Um, and just bullshit on the side while I wasn't training, and they're not taking it serious like I should. And time just keeps ticking slowly, but sometimes it go fast. But it ain't really about time. It's just like when it really hits you. Fuck time, fuck the illusion of time. Just soon as it hits you to where you get it a little, just get it, but not you get it like damn, like huh. I'm trying to pursue his career. I'm getting old in it with it and watch other fighters that I we used to watch sometimes, get old or injuries and shit. And then them as a family man, and as a family man, for me at least, doing the training and being with my family and knowing what's going on and stuff. I'm about to be an uncle, it's aging too within that, trying to still keep healthy and stuff. You know. But yeah, that's just my take on it. You guys let me know what you think. Um, like I said, this is my last year, so I'm 20. Woo, man. Made it, but damn, almost made it. I'm about to be 30 next year. But damn, still, oh shit, bro. Shit is no joke, dude. It's no joke. But yeah, I'm gonna go in here and get my phone and charger. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think, man. Just aging in general. Last year, 20s, about to be 30, 30, 30. Um, all types of changes and shit. My shit's in April, but it feel like it's nowhere though, bro. It's just time is just. And I ain't even started working yet, bro. I've been working, but I haven't even started like institutionally working at a place where I can get paid paid from or something like that. It's monetized. So yeah, yeah. But hey, it's your boy. Don't keep it going charge. Y'all let me know. Love y'all. Keep your head up.